Where are we at with this? Are we gonna leave it like this? Who am I asking? What's up, y'all? Today's the 11th of December, 2025. My name is Evan Strong, the founder of InTheImageClothingCompany. This is our main side. Okay, one of our fourths. This is where we allow the body to work. We do it through clothing. Okay. The human body is just a mechanical machine placed onto a rock in space. There's only one way it could ever work. Holy cow, already. Rocks. We're placed on a rock in space. It's just Earth's gravity. The human body has a center line, okay? What I mean is I'm already saying things that sound so bold. There is only one way the human body could ever work. The sternum, the spine, the trachea, the nose, and our jaw, stabilizing the entire body. We have to stay centered with Earth's center of gravity, okay? We have feet arches opposing the center line, gripping inward and keeping us vertical. There's only one way the human body could ever work. We have to allow it to work. You can't get it to do anything. There's a neutral to rotations, internal rotation and external rotation in the forearms from the neutral. Internal rotation and external rotation in the entire arms from a neutral, okay? In the lower legs, internal rotation and external rotation from a neutral, pinky toe straight forward, and in the entire leg, okay? Internal rotation from the neutral and external rotation from the neutral. Airplanes in the sky. Shout out to Utah, man. We live up Utah, as in the Image Clothing Company. It's so beautiful, it's so funny. Here in Spanish Fork, Utah, in Utah County, there's an airport. And I've filmed hundreds of videos outside for In the Image Clothing Company's main side here in Spanish Fork, Utah. There's a small airport for these small little planes. You know, 2 people to maybe 10 people can fit in these little planes. It's quite funny, okay? But we do live up Utah, okay? We do a lot outside, a lot under the gift of video. The title of this video is The Importance of Even Undershirts. Wow. This video has been hard for me to film, I'll say it like that. I was trying to leave the house to film this. I'm like, man, it doesn't feel right, but it feels right. I gotta go, I gotta do it. I get out here and I was like struggling to figure out how to get the camera where I needed it to be, how to really explain what this video will be through the visuals, because I can discuss the anatomy of the human body in depth, and that's great. But we also couple it with visuals of what's really going on, okay? So I'm gonna actually take my sweater off during this, then I'll put it back on. And I'll show you what's really happening here. The importance of even undershirts, okay? We've got a lot of videos talking about the importance of even insertions of muscles on both sides of the body. The importance of even sternocleidomastoid insertions up here behind our ears, okay? All throughout the body, from the feet up to the head, out to the fingertips. The human body can only ever work activated as a whole. Everything's there with a role to play. There's only one neutral position to all the functioning, rotations, and then just both sides of motion at a hinge, wherever that could be, okay? The human body only pulls 2 endpoints of muscles, or more endpoints sometimes, where the muscle inserts to the bone through a tendon. It pulls together. Even in what seems like a push, it's musculature on the backside of a function pulling together. Okay, muscles only pull. The human body can only work by contracting. Everything connects from the outside of the body into the center, essentially. Okay, from the outside of the shoulder into the sternum in the front, muscles connect and contract evenly, opposing the center line on Earth's gravity. Okay, from the outside of the shoulder to the center in the spine in the rear, muscles connect, contract evenly, opposing the center line on Earth's gravity, okay? Keeping our bodies over Earth's gravity. A video under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company here, as well as The Human Body Only Pulls. That's a video under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company here. Okay. But a lot of what we do as human beings is just deal with gravity. A lot of what we have is rotated seams. In this modern man-made world we have placed onto God's natural earth, it's a right-handed world, okay? we get more externally rotated on our right side, and our muscles get pulled on and dropped lower on our right side. The right foot has a hard time gripping an arch because it grips inward. The arches of the feet grip inward from the outside of the foot, okay? So we need to keep our heels on the ground in order for that to happen. I can get into all the discussion that I can get into. I'm at a point with this where I don't even know what's going on anymore. Not really. We have so many videos, so many documentations. And I'm gonna just keep going with it, okay? Because this is the point. There's a lot of things we need to know that we never needed to know in the past. Robots stitch clothing. We have rotated seams where they'll stitch something one direction, they'll flip the clothing around and stitch it the same direction, and now we're rotating our whole bodies when our bodies have rotations themselves, okay? And so our bodies have to just reside in their neutrals, the natural scapula position. A video under the main side of In The Image Clothing Company. The scapulas are the big bones on the upper back. Look at my shoulders. Ready? Up, down. Ready, I ask? Forward, back. In all the ways, there's just a neutral, okay, to the body. The wrists are the shoulders. I mean, the hand is essentially the shoulder, as the foot is essentially the hip. There's only one way the human body could ever work. Nobody can tell you how to train your body. It's impossible. It's physically, legitimately, actually, mechanically impossible to train the body to get it to do anything. It just has ranges of motion. Stretch is damaging. There's only a range of motion, but it, you know, if we're not in our neutrals already, then it won't be able to get to its full ranges of motion. It'll only have partial ranges of motion. But they're God-given ranges, and it just has them. The body, these airplanes, man, they're noisy. Shout out to this swampy area. I'm gonna just kind of talk about that right now, rather than information on In The Image Clothing Company stuff while the airplane is flying overhead in the way that it is currently. But it's nice here. It's cool. This is a different location. When I say we live up Utah, we've got swampy areas. We're actually based down in St. George, Utah, which is the very southernmost part of Utah. Okay. It is what it is, yeah. And what it is a beautiful desert down there. Red rocks, warmth, hot in the summer, okay? Up here, we've got all sorts of things. We do things in the state of Utah, in-person events. I'll get to discussing it where I do. So involve yourself. If you'd like, where you do, there you go. We'll talk about this. I'm gonna continue on with what I was saying now that the airplane is quieter than it was for us previously. Okay, here's the thing. Bruce Lee, a shout out to him. He knew how the body works, and his worked well. Well, okay, so the body, it has to work activated as a whole. There's no compensation that can happen in it for something not working properly or playing its role. Everything has its own role to play, and it plays an individualistic function that something else can't make up for. Okay, so the whole body has to be working together. The body has to be in its only neutral positions. And this might sound like, oh my goodness, where's the routines to do of how to train and stretch and do all this garbage? No. Okay, if the body was never altered, if we just lived out in nature, which, again, I say this often, there's no approach or opinion to have to nature. There's always only nature until we create things by, you know, us putting things together as human beings. Okay, natural is the goal on all four sides of In The Image Clothing Company. Natural, neutral, and normal are synonyms within the functioning of the body. Okay, with dogs as well, we'll talk about it. So, what do we do then? If our bodies would just work if they were never altered by man-made items of clothing placed onto them, or by living in this man-made world with unnatural chair heights and unnaturally flat things when there's arches in both of our extremities, the hands and the feet, you know, meaning rounding to things. I'm not upset about the planes. I'm the one that's making the videos in the town with the airport. It's funny though. What do we do then? How do we allow our bodies to work? Why are people stretching all the time, which is the opposite direction of the only way muscles work? We've got stretch in clothing. It didn't exist just decades ago. As of today's date, stretch is so damaging. Okay, unnatural materials, artificial materials, synthetic materials. These are synonyms for the word fake. A lot of fake things in modern day. A lot of fake people in modern day, actually. So our bodies get damaged. Okay, our bodies are only natural. We talk about eating, sleeping, standing, walking, sitting, breathing, hydration, everything we do as human beings, and doing these things naturally, because if we eat something that's unnatural, like a man-made food, that's not a real thing. It's not food, but we call it that sometimes. The body just has to process that through it, and it takes energy to do so, but then the body can't extract any nutrients from it to benefit from doing so. Okay, so that's the thing with a lot of these things. Okay, they're damaging to us, and so our bodies would just work. The human body is designed by God to work. Animals just work, but animals live in nature, usually. We've got another fourth of us in the Image Clothing Company, poodles. We specialize in purebred standard poodles. We breed them, we register them properly, and show how to and why to do these things, advocating for purebred dogs and how to be a good owner of dogs. We keep less dogs in shelters and more dogs at homes. All the same things we talk about for human beings and doing them naturally, we do for dogs as well. We say allowing the body to work, and we say letting dogs stay natural. Okay, the main side of In The Image Clothing Company and In The Image Clothing Company poodles. Our information applies to all dogs on letting dogs stay natural, other than very specific things that are very specific to poodles. Grooming things, you know, poodles have hair, other dogs have fur, certain things like this. Okay, so interacting with our dogs as the owners so that we don't alter our bodies is a big thing we talk about. Holding leashes naturally, the height of dogs versus the height of the owner of the dog. Okay, yeah, there's a lot we discuss. There's a lot we do. Products, human being clothing and dog products, because clothing has to stay centered, fit correct, where we discuss clothing sits for everyone, and be made in all the ways that we can from 100% natural materials, because there's always only natural materials. That's what I mean. Until there were human beings that just conjure things up in factories, there's only natural materials. There's only earth. We are only earth, actually, pulled from the clay, as it says in Scripture. The truth of all things, the gospel of Jesus Christ. Don't believe me, but the human body is only natural. But the natural human body designs a lot of unnatural things, and it affects us, it affects our dogs, it affects our entire lives and our, livelihood. So here's the thing, okay? Human being clothing, dog products, collars, leashes, harnesses, similar things like this, and whatever we branch out into in InTheImageClothingCompany.com, okay? To allow the body to work, to let dogs stay natural. We give a lot of free modifications, though. You don't have to purchase In The Image Clothing Company products to allow your body to work or to let your dog stay natural. That wouldn't make any sense, because that doesn't make any sense. Human beings always worked until modern day, the recent past. New things got invented. Stretch didn't exist. Tags in clothing didn't exist until just decades ago. One of our 2 prerequisites as In The Image Clothing Company is to remove all tags from clothing. They're either causing a physical gap, changing the body's only working position, and or just not allowing musculature to activate. Compensation tries to happen and it can't. Okay? Secondly, to shoelacing, our other prerequisite, in addition to just where we discuss clothing sits, which we'll do here as well, is In The Image Clothing Company's shoelace technique. There's just only one way the top of the feet are shaped, which is half of their function. Dorsiflexion versus plantar flexion. Lifting the toes versus pointing them. Pointing your toes is the soles of your feet. We talk about that. The importance of zero-drop shoes, a video under the main side of In The Image Clothing Company, and a term, meaning just shoes that are flat, like the surface of the earth that we stand on. There's only one way the feet work, okay? That's a video under the main side of In The Image Clothing Company here. There is only one way the feet work. There is only one way the hands work. I filmed those videos down in beautiful St. George, Utah. I'll move down there. That's where we're based. I'm just not currently there yet. I was about 3.5 weeks ago, and I filmed some awesome videos. I had a great time. I learned a lot of things. So, Where are we with this? Where are we with this? This is good. I love it. I actually do love it. And that's why it's funny. That's why it's hard. That's what I'm saying. It was hard for me to get out here and film this video, but it's a big video and it's cool. And I'm having a good time with this. I'm putting on a show. Not being inauthentic, but I mean, it's kind of like I'm making a show here. It's kind of like a comedy show sometimes as well. The videos that I make, it's fun. It's fun for me, all right? And it's impactful. It's important. It's universal. We're universally designed in the image of God. In the Image Clothing Company, Jesus Christ designed our bodies in his image. In the Image Clothing Company podcast is another one of our forwards. We discuss the gospel of Jesus Christ. We're on episode 189 as of last night. No claim, no belief, no religion. We're all human beings, though, placed on the same earth, designed by the same God. We're all the same thing. There's a universal skeletal system to the universal human design. We allow that to work. And we just discuss life as it is. It's the truth of all things. There's just truth to all things. The sun rises on the same earth for everyone across it every day, and it only does what it does. There's 24 hours in a day, every day, for everyone, always. There's oppositions in all things. There's opposing muscles to the functionality of whatever function it is in the body. Okay, what's up? What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Today's the 11th of December, 2025. What's up, y'all? The importance of even undershirts. I do have a really good time with these videos. I have a good time within the Image Clothing Company. I'm in this for life. Evan Strong as the founder. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about it. Let's keep rolling with this because Poodle Parade events here in the state of Utah and wherever else we go. Being down there in St. George, Utah, we're right next to Arizona and Nevada. We can go where we go, wherever we go, we'll go. But we can span the state of Utah for sure. We live up Utah. It's so awesome here, so beautiful here. Me as the founder of In the Image Clothing Company, I'm Utah native. Utah has so much to offer, and that's a lot of what we do as In the Image Clothing Company is show what Utah truly is. The state of Utah here in the United States of America. It's awesome. So bring your poodles, purebred of any size or poodle mixes of any size, okay? Here to the state of Utah, and we'll have a lot of beautiful events. Getting people into nature and dogs into nature. And you can just check out places like this. As I was walking over here, it said, all dogs must be on leash. And then I passed a sign and it said, no dogs beyond this point. And I was praying to God. I'm like, that's good. That is good. Because we discussed being good owners of dogs, and there's kids at the park. Sometimes you've got an aggressive dog and it's not even your dog's fault. Dogs are naturally just aggressive. They kill to live in nature. They're domesticated now, but we do a lot. Under all four sides of In the Image Clothing Company, so stick around. It's really fun. Involve yourself. Check out what we do. The gift of videos, so many videos already. Over, a year into this. We're about 14 and a half months into In the Image Clothing Company from the founding as of today's date. I'm in this for life, and so, we're going to do a lot, always under the gift of video. We'll have our poodles, we'll have In the Image Clothing Company team and our building down there in St. George, Utah, and the focus is nature. The goal is natural, so, we do a lot of beautiful things. Don't believe me, okay? Or In the Image Clothing Company with any of our information. But truth is truth, and the truth is we have to have an intentionality placed behind our even undershirts. This is the thing, we talk about a lot of things in clothing. I mentioned rotated seams. Well, rotated seams and Earth's gravity is a video under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company here. And since a lot of what we're doing is just dealing with Earth's gravity as human beings, like this, the tip of the fingers is just the other end from the shoulder, okay? Keeping elbows at the natural waist, a video under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company here. There's just only one way the human body could ever work, but if it's not being allowed to, because a lot of things that we have in modern day, that's where our free modifications come in, under In the Image Clothing Company, for your clothing, for your lifestyle, if you will, modifying how you sit in unnaturally tight modern chairs, okay? There's a bench right here. It is what it is, right? But there's only one way the human body could ever work, so this is the point. In the Image Clothing Company's rotated seam modification, anytime there's rotations and seams down the arms of sleeves, down the sides of our tops, down the pant, side seams, wherever it is in clothing, we just can't have rotations pinning our body already part of the way into their rotations from their neutrals. okay? There's just a neutral. We have to reside in it. We have to. But people are stretching and working out and trying to get their body to work because things are really damaging their bodies in modern day, and we just don't know what we don't know. You can't be held accountable for what you don't know. But I love how authentic I am in these. When I said I'm putting on a show, I'm not trying to be like over the top. I'm just having a really good time with it, and it just, to me, it feels like a production, you know? It's really fun. Well, all the surrounding sounds, you know, blunt, bold, raw, real, in the Image Clothing Company. We are who we are, and I love it because that's the point. Is it is authentic. It is me like having a lot of kind of like frustration behind what I'm saying, even though I'm excited to say it, because there's so much that goes into these videos, even if they're pretty simply done, right? It's just fun. It's so cool. It's the dynamic of a human being. It's the gospel of Jesus Christ. Check out In the Image Clothing Company podcast, truly. It's amazing. Don't believe me, but it's a beautiful place. They just have beautiful insights given to you and that you can glean from, you know, just on life. It's really such a gift, man. So is this. I mean, just being out here at all. I've never been right here. I live in this town currently. I've never been in this spot right here. No, not quite right here. It's just so cool. That's what I'm saying. Just living life, brother. Wow. We're gonna talk about it, the importance of even undershirts. But this is a lot of good context, and this is still the founding time period of In the Image Clothing Company. These are eternal videos, and so we just pack them with information. It'll last forever. The gift of video, it's awesome, it's great, it's so good. In the Image Clothing Company's dreaded collar seam modification. If we've got seams in something that's supposed to be even around the circumference of our neck, the collar of our top, it'll just not sit evenly around the circumference of our neck. We've got evenly contracting musculature on both sides of the body to keep us just centered, okay? Earth's center of gravity, that's the big point. Well, just the center to the breathing we do as human beings. Breath is the essence of human life, right? The ribs move and the lungs are on each side of the center of the body. And, you know, we're expanding and contracting our rib cage in 360 degrees or all the way around evenly, naturally. So, In the Image Clothing Company's dreaded collar seam modification, we call it dreaded because your body dreads having something imbalanced placed on it. There's only one way the body could ever work. And so imbalanced collars they don't let the body work, okay? They don't allow the body to work. They don't allow the body to work. All these things, a lot of things, anything that's a discrepancy and imbalance, something that's not even. We talk about things being even, okay? So, when we talk about where clothing sits, top seams of our shoulders sit evenly behind the peak of our shoulders because our shoulders only work behind our head. That's just where they connect mechanically. They connect to the spine and to the base of the rear of the skull, the upper trapezius muscles that raise the shoulders. And so, since our shoulders will follow the shoulder seams of our tops, top shoulder seams need to sit evenly behind the peak of the shoulders. And that's a big point, you know. So when it comes to the importance of even undershirts, it's really important to focus on the base layer first, then the next layer, then the next layer, if we're layering things, okay? So, the edge seams of our tops should be as close as we can get, right to the very edges of our shoulders. That's just where the functionality of the shoulder joint is. It's just a joint of bones, okay? We've got the collarbone, the scapula, and the humerus, which is the upper arm bone, just becoming the shoulder, if you will, okay? At a joint. And so the joint of our clothing, it's just the top material and the sleeve material. Ideally, it's as close as we can get to the exact same location. Those two joints of things. Pants that we wear, we all wear pants. And by the way, this applies to everyone. Man, woman, tall, short, skinny, fat, any age, any part of the earth, any time period to ever be, you're just a human being, okay? Everybody's clothing has to sit in the same location. We recognize, you know, amputations, deformities, major surgeries, birth defects, whatever it is, anything that's altered your body quite a bit, just a little bit, that sets you apart quite a bit, or just a little bit, whatever it is, we're all different in the ways we are. But there is this universal human design we have to get as close as we can to because we're on the same earth with its same gravitational pull. And yeah, there's still just a baseline functioning to the body mechanically, okay? Well, and in all the ways. Organs and everything, you know, the whole body, Because we talk about, yeah, a lot. Well, you know, so it just is what it is what I'm saying. You have to have your clothing sit in the same location as everyone else. You know, and then we address things in times and places that are slightly different if needed. But our pants have to sit above our hips, so at what's called our natural waist. Above the hip bones and below those lowest ribs, that's actually where we bend side to side of the spine. You can't bend side to side at the hips without lifting a leg off the ground. Okay, that's just how the body's structured. There you go. At our natural waist, our pants are there, slightly higher in the front than they are in the rear, because to just keep a neutral pelvis on Earth's gravity, posterior to neutral, anterior to neutral, with the rotations of the pelvis, there's just a neutral on Earth's gravity. That's what I'm saying, you know, dealing with Earth's gravity. The video is titled Keeping Our Bodies Over Earth's Gravity. Beautiful red rocks, St. George, Utah. Check it out if you'd like. But yeah, neutrals to the pelvis. That's, you know, we just can't have our core ever deactivate. It's just the center of the body. It has to stay activated. It's supporting everything from there out, like the core of an apple, okay? But it'll never be able to if we've got pant waistlines falling lower in the front, or shoelaces altering the arches in the feet, or heels on our shoes, shoulder seams sitting incorrectly, okay, damaging our bodies. There's only one way the human body could ever work. And we really do get into it in depth. We discuss the anatomy of the human body so deeply. I'm just looking out at the mountains. I'm not even looking at the camera for so much of this, because this is what I mean. I do love these videos. They take a lot out of me sometimes. And it's a lot of frustration sometimes. It's a lot of like warfare to battle through sometimes, to really just get these things done, because these are important. Even when it's hard to hear me because there's these surrounding sounds and I'm using this relatively cheap device, you know, for what we're doing here to film these videos. It is what it is, you know. It's about the date marks and the timestamp. It's about In The Image Clothing Company's authentic information and where it came from and when and how we've delivered it since the very founding. We have been the same, you know. That's what a lot of these videos are for. But also the information's valid as long as you can hear it. It's just they don't seem so professionally done by worldly standards, which is fine. A lot of these videos at this time period is what I mean. I know and I understand and I get it. I'm actually really good at photography and videography. But there's a level of not caring that just makes things authentic. And then you have experiences like this, and then you know who I really am as well. As the founder of In The Image Clothing Company, I never want to have to try to make these things any better than they just are. I never want to try to be any better than I just am. You know, a lot of what we do as In The Image Clothing Company is getting people rooted and grounded and authentic. That's a lot of what the reason for Poodle Parade events are. The dogs and nature both help people with things like this, you know, just being real. Blunt, bold, raw, and real. In The Image Clothing Company. If the information's here, the information's here. And I still haven't really said much of anything at all about undershirts yet in this video, which is fine, because that's what I mean. It's so much just documentation of who we really are as In The Image Clothing Company, because this company will last. It's not some startup. We're just discussing God's design and the truth of how to allow it to work, and the truth that you can only allow it to work. You can't get it to do anything. It just won't happen. That's why you keep trying, keep stretching, and you keep going to chiropractors, you keep going to physical therapy. Your sports coach keeps coming up with new ideas because the last one, whatever, you know. Things just change all the time that don't work so well or at all. The human body's the same. Designed in the image of God yesterday, today, and forever. You know, Jesus Christ, God himself, he never changes. Never has, never will. Man, I'm seeing what I'm seeing, but you're seeing a whole different kind of side to this in the lens. I'll flip it around once I'm done discussing what I am, and you'll be able to see this beautiful wetland area on the back side of where the camera is right now, okay? From where the lens is at, you know, looking at me standing here out in the nature. Oh, shoot, let's talk about it. Tops, okay? The importance of even undershirts, because we're wearing overshirts if we're having undershirts underneath them, okay? But this is the big point. is you have to start at the base. We're only as good as our foundation. We put so much importance and focus on the feet, okay, and the jaw. Those are two of some of the biggest things within the human body's functioning. The feet are the base of the body on Earth's gravity. The jaw is the stabilization of the entire body. It's also our speaking, and it's also our breathing and our eating and whatever else the jaw could be labeled as doing function-wise for the entire body. Okay, the jaw is the shoulder. Look at this, okay? The jaw connects directly to the shoulder. And what we need to do with the jaw is keep it centered because it's stabilizing the entire body. And we have the even contraction that needs to be there from the outside of the shoulder up into the jaw. Not just from the outside of the shoulder into the spine or into the sternum where the musculature connects there, but into the jaw as well. Our jaw needs to stay centered. So we talk about keeping collars centered. We talk about it for human beings and dogs. Like I said, in the Image Clothing Company's dreaded collar seat modification, that's huge. Removing all tags. There's often, at this time period at least, tags in the rear of our collars of our tops. Removing those, okay, to keep the collar centered. But for dogs as well, okay, we keep dog collars centered, and then the dog doesn't get altered from the collar. You know, there's more intentionality that needs to be had, and we discuss it. But that's one of the big things, is just centered. But then there's also the importance of snug collars. A video I made yesterday under the main site of In The Image Clothing Company here. Collars need to be snug, okay? Sitting at what we could call the natural waist of the neck, where these upper trapezius muscles kind of crease as they come in and up, okay? And there you go. Same for dogs, keeping them snug. So we've got a lot of things with the collars when it comes to undershirts, or just tops in general. The importance of tops is a video here under the main site of In The Image Clothing Company. All right, we just talk about a lot of things. We've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos as of today's date already, okay? I'm in this for life. It's humbling, because this is, oh shoot. It's humbling, that's what I mean. I just gotta push through it. Sometimes it's rough to get out here and make a video, but then, you know, I see why it was so rough once I see how impactful it is after I do it, okay? So, the importance of even short sleeves. The importance of even forearm rotations, which is determined by short sleeves, okay? There's a lot of things with tops, and undershirts are a big thing, okay? Because we don't see it. Once we put whatever we put over it on, we don't really know to focus on it. If we don't know to focus on it, that's what I mean. We don't know what we don't know. We can't be held accountable for what we don't know. What we'll do is put a shirt on as an undershirt, just to put another shirt on over it. Just to maybe put another shirt on over it, or to put a sweater, a hoodie, a coat, a jacket, a cardigan, whatever it is over that. Maybe we put a coat over that, some kind of shell. You know, we're layering things to stay warm, or you're layering things for fashion if you are, right? In the Image Clothing Company is not about fashion. It's about the functionality and mechanics of the human body, and allowing the body to work, okay? But no matter what's going on, if you're layering things, you have to start at the base. If we're focusing on the hands or the jaw or the tip of the head, we have to start at the feet. Things start at the base and they go up or they go out, however it works. Meaning, if we're going bottom to top on Earth's gravity, or if we're going in to out with layering clothing, we have to start at the base. That's a relatively quiet jet plane. Also, they started flying a little bit bigger planes out of this airport than they have. They're expanding the airport. They're building more buildings there. It's a flight school as well. That's the big thing, is it's a flight school. There's all these flights in and out of there every day. So many little planes. All day long, you know. So it is what it is. But anyway, this is the point, okay? I'm still saying it. I'm just, you know, we'll keep going with this. The tops have to stay centered, fit correct, and all the ways we can be made from 100% natural materials. That's what we say with clothing, in all the ways. But when we're layering things, now we've got material on material, and it's grippy, okay? Material grips to material, and it really does. But then we've got things like double-stitched seams, You know, you'll see me fold my shirt tails up and keep the double stitch of this modern design that's so grippy off of my hips so that it's not connecting my shoulders to my hips, because these upper trapezius muscles want to work. The only way muscles work is by pulling or contracting, okay? The only other end is relaxing. One side contracts just so that the other side can relax. Wow, okay, that's fine to say like that. And then one side contracts when the other side relaxes with the opposing muscles of the body, okay? And that's just how the body works. There's only one way the human body could ever work. So we don't want our shoulders to be connected to our hips through this grippy double stitch, okay? And there's just a lot going on. We've got grippy stitches around our waist, on the sleeve cuffs, wherever we do, you know, we need our bodies to just be mobile. The word machine being just a mechanical machine, it needs motion to be working correctly. There's only one way the human body could ever work. We just can't restrict it. That's what it means to allow it to work, is don't restrict it. That's just the opposite end of allowing, and there's opposition in all things. Wow. It just is what it is. I'm so humbled by this, man. I love this. Because this is the point, is we wear multiple layers of things. I'm gonna take my sweater off. I'm gonna show you, I have a short sleeve button-up shirt on. And I also have another shirt on as well that's a short sleeve t-shirt. This is the thing, I don't wanna be undressing out here in public. It's funny, man. It is funny. It's just funny how we do these things. It's funny how I just stand out here and film these videos. Just as authentic as it gets, man. That is the goal, okay? The goal is natural and authenticity, or natural and authentic are just, you know, synonyms. It's the same things. Natural, neutral, and normal are synonyms. Things are just what they are. And here I am taking off my sweater just so that I can put it on again. There's opposition in all things. No joke. Okay, here we go. Okay, watch this. This is the point. We've got clothing, and we're layering it. And that's great, because it's winter in Utah County. The snow-capped mountains here. It's probably about 40-something degrees Fahrenheit right now, okay? It gets a lot colder here in the winters. Certainly a lot colder. But, yeah, we'll layer things to stay warm, okay? Keeping short sleeves short, so that we have the natural rotations in the forearms, the importance of even short sleeves, things like the dreaded collar seam on only one side, falling to the other side of where the seam is what the top will do, okay? In the Image Clothing Company's dreaded collar seam modification and the Image Clothing Company's rotated seam modification, keeping collars centered, keeping tops waisted. What do you want? How many videos do you want? I'm in this for life. There's a lot of beautiful documentation. That's what this is right here. It's just one of them. One of the hundreds and hundreds of videos, and we're just at the very start of all this, okay? There's only one way the human body could ever work. So, starting at the first layer, we keep things centered. We modify seams where we need to, so that things can just be even on Earth's gravity, right? Rotated clothing and Earth's gravity, we don't want to be rotating our bodies on Earth's gravity. It has a centered pull, and there's a center line to our bodies. Okay, first thing at the very base, let's say it's a t-shirt. Then let's say you've got a short sleeve button-up t-shirt on. I don't know if you call it a button-up t-shirt, but you've got a short sleeve button-up on. I don't know, I do, so I'm speaking out of personal experience. I'm preaching what I have practiced, as I do, as the founder of the Image Clothing Company. So what we need is our sleeves to be even, okay? The undershirt sleeves, even, okay? Not folded up, rolled up like this, bunched up, you know, on the first layer, and then just altering the way that our arms hang on the first layer. Let's say it's all bunched up in the front like this, you know, and not in the rear. Now our arms are just standing differently like this. Our arms are standing differently. That's what I mean. Our arms, with Earth's gravity are not being able to be just pulled down straight with Earth's gravity just because there's material in the way, okay? And then our whole bodies won't be standing evenly. That's what I was meaning. That's what I said, essentially. Okay, that's what I was trying to say. That's awesome. I love this, man. I love this. This is gonna be one of my favorite videos to watch. It's already one of my favorite videos that I've filmed. Out of the hundreds, I mean, I love this so much right now while I'm still filming it. So, starting from the very first layer, just even, right? Even sleeves all the way around, sitting nice and evenly in there, because we can have sleeves just all bunched up on one side and sitting fairly evenly on the other side. And now that's essentially like having uneven short sleeves, okay? And there's only one way the human body could ever work. Look at my shoulder height, right? We just need to stay even. We need to stay centered. We need our bodies to be able to work, okay? There's only one way they ever could. I'm in this for life. We've got tops. And we've got the importance of even undershirts. Let's go to the next layer. The next layer, let's say it's a little bit different. You've got a button-up shirt, but let's say it's rotated, okay? In the Image Clothing Company's video, on its main side, rotated clothing and Earth's gravity. Let's say you've got, you know, a rotated button-up shirt like this, and you just can't stay centered on Earth's gravity. Holy cow. Earth's gravity, a universal thing that's outside of all of us that we all have to listen to and abide by, and if not, it's affecting us. You don't have to care, right? Like I say, you don't have to care about clothing. It's altering your body if it's altering your body. You don't even have to care about In the Image Clothing Company, but we speak universal truth that applies to everyone and their dogs, truly, okay? And it'll never change. It's just God's information. You don't have to be religious. I'm not religious. I don't believe in anything. Jesus Christ is God. There you go. Episode 187 of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. That's the title. Okay. Let's stay centered. Let's stand. Let's be human beings able to operate. We've got opposing musculature. We've got two sides to the body. We're layering clothing. The importance of even undershirts before we get to the next layer. You've got to have even undershirts before you get to the next layer. The first layer before you get to the second. The second before you get to the third, however many layers you have, whatever it is, because this second shirt's technically an undershirt to the third top, which is a sweater in this case, okay? So now we put a sweater on, we put a jacket on, we put a coat on, we put another button-up on, layering button-ups. That's what I sometimes I do. Sometimes I layered long sleeve button-ups. Yeah, there you go. Keeping warm, you know, in Utah County's cold winters. Last winter, I was layering button-ups, you know, long sleeved ones, yeah. Full on, you know, collars and buttons. I felt like it was kind of a thing, you know? I liked it. I thought it was kind of funny, but also, yeah, I mean, I stayed warm. And then it stayed centered, because that's the point. In the Image Clothing Company's clothing will always do all that we can, okay? We will always do all that we can behind the designs of In the Image Clothing Company products of any kind to just allow it to be proper, okay? So centered buttons is what we'll always have in all the ways that we can, okay? Behind our designs, that's the intention, is to allow the body to work. That's our slogan on the main side of In the Image Clothing Company, one of our Fords, okay? We'll get to the last fourth if we get to the last fourth, discussing it in this. I get it, and I get it, because I'm the founder. And what I get is that we gotta have even undershirts before we can move to the next layer. And if you've got something else you're putting on, you put one sleeve on, and then you put the other sleeve on. When you put that first sleeve on, a lot of the times you're just pulling your clothing off to the other side. And we're right-handed, you know, so you usually put just one side on first, and then you pull your whole clothing, rotate it, then you put the other side on, and then you just go through your life with your clothing like rotated because of the layer you've put on top of the undershirt. And that layer on top has rotated the undershirt by you just pulling it onto you, because we've got two sides to the body and you put one arm in first, you know? And so then if you don't go through and nicely like make sure everything's even, the sleeve cuffs and, you know, the length of the sleeve cuffs, having them not be folded up or bunched up and rolled up, keeping the edge seams right at the edges of the shoulders evenly, layer upon layer as you put clothing on. Then the next layer you put on, you're just more imbalanced each time you add a layer. And then it's harder to smooth out the layer underneath if you've got 2, 3, 4 plus layers of clothing on. Trying to stay warm is a big thing. You know, sometimes people live in climates that are very, very, very cold, and for a lot of the year too, you know. So they have to layer clothing to survive, truly, right? That's what I mean. It's not about fashion. There's a lot to what we do under In The Image Clothing Company. You have to layer clothing a lot of the times or you will freeze to death, truly. I mean, it's as real as it gets. And I've been in really cold climates. Here in Utah, it does get below 0 degrees Fahrenheit often in the winter. And you have to layer clothing. You have to. I mean, you're not going to get just one layer of something that's going to keep you warm enough. Because layering clothing in itself then adds little layers of like air between the layers, you know, of clothing. And it's an insulator, okay? I know that a lot of times I speak so silly, you know, and that's great, and there's nothing wrong with it. But there is also a lot to this. I'm not just, you know, making some like silly, only fun advertisements for like a fashionable company. I just am who I am, and I do things the way that I do things. But I also really know what I'm talking about here, and we're really talking about things that often are life and death, truly, like staying warm and how to, you know, like the health of dogs and just like the health of our bodies and all the ways that we talk about the health of our bodies, and things are really damaging our bodies if we're not intentional. We just have to know how to be. So that's what I mean, is this video is huge, even though it's so silly through a lot of it. It's just like lighthearted, but it's very, very, very real, because that's what we do. You know, we get into chronic patterning and scar tissue through oversized clothing, imbalances in clothing, ropes introduced to the body like shoelaces, drawstrings, anything we could call a rope, a ribbon around a dress, an apron knot, an ascot, a scarf, a rope around the hood of a top, you know, like a hoodie rope, okay? We get into chronic patterning, you know, and that's what we really do here on the main side of In The Image Clothing Company, is get out of these chronic patternings and scar tissue that gets built up in the body. We live in this right-handed world, and we really just get imbalanced. We talk about eating and drinking with the left hand to keep that jaw centered, the importance of even jaw musculature. These are videos under the main side of In The Image Clothing Company. We really, really do get into depth with things. We really are here to change people's lives, and we really do. Starting with me through this, right, the founder. My life has been changed through all of this. And so that's what I mean, even this, the importance of even undershirts, this is life changing. It truly is. You know, you layer 2, 3, 4 items of a top, items of tops, right? You go throughout your day, they're just sitting on you all bunched up and imbalanced. You're going to sweat so much more. You'll be drinking way more than you need to, and so you'll actually be dehydrating yourself by flushing out your electrolytes. You'll be eating so much more than you would need to. You'll be physically uncomfortable. You won't be able to breathe very well throughout the entire day. This is what I mean. This is In The Image Clothing Company. And this is what I mean when I say it's as real as it gets. It's as obvious as it is once you see it. These phrases I say. But also, let's have fun with it, you know? Yeah, this is one of my favorite videos I've made up until today's date. It's so humbling. It's so real. It's so real. And you can see it, you know, like I say, you can see my body's physical and visual transformation as the founder of In The Image Clothing Company since the very first documentation of In The Image Clothing Company, since our founding date, the 23rd of September, 2024, to any current date ever at your current time or the closest to your current time. You can see my body. You can see how I can stand and move and operate and breathe, and my breath control, and how I can speak well. Not just the gifts I've been given by God on how to, you know, I can speak well, you know, put words together well, but also, you know, physically, mechanically articulate my words. Speaking is a physical thing, right? How clothing affects speaking is a video under the main side of In The Image Clothing Company here. I mean, we're really here to do what we're really here to do, you know, and so find out who we really are if you don't really understand who we are, because I know our company name doesn't really explain it very well. In the Image Clothing Company, our 5-word name, it doesn't really give you all that much understanding of, you know, how there's 4 sides to In the Image Clothing Company. We do things for dogs. We allow the human body to work mechanically. We just discuss the anatomy of the human body in depth. We have a whole podcast with discussions on the gospel of Jesus Christ. We have In the Image Clothing Company music, where a lot of what we do on In the Image Clothing Company music is show the sizing and setup of guitar to not alter things like that neutral wrist. And we just talk about in daily life the rounding that's in our hands. And fingernails and toenails cut relatively flat on the tips and fully to the tips of the fingernails and toes to keep us in this neutral wrist position, fully backing and supporting our fingers and toes. Then we can have gripped arches in the feet. Then we can have the rounding to our hands. And then we can just, you know, have strength and support through our whole body. Where grip strength really comes from is a video I filmed down in St. George, Utah, where we're based. I'll just move down there, okay? And yeah, grip strength starts at the fingernails and the toe nails, the gripped arches and the gripped hands, and then, you know, it goes through the whole body. The hand is the shoulder comes from the spine, but the spine really starts at the feet on Earth's gravity. I mean, it's the whole body. We talk about the whole body. We talk about our whole lives. But on In the Image Clothing Company music, rhythm and poetry, spoken word, lyricism, singing, guitar playing, geared around the gospel of Jesus Christ. We do series through music. We just do a lot through music, okay? There you go. A little bit of each of the 4 sides of us. The sun's getting close to going behind the mountains here. So, we're getting close to being done with this video though. I'm gonna put this sweater on because this is the point. Whatever it is, and it's amplified when you do have something like a button-up that opens in the front, or a zip-up that opens in the front, something like that, where you're putting one side on and then putting it around you and putting the other side on. That's when we really move our undershirts off to the side. Right, now look at the difference in my short sleeve length from right to left, right, as we're just pulling an over shirt, if you will, on over an undershirt, okay? The importance of even short sleeves is huge because we've got to keep these rotations in our forearms, and there's just 2 bones in the forearms, the radius and ulna, rotating over each other, and then there just needs to be room between the sleeve cuff and the forearm for that to happen, okay? So, undershirts. The importance of even undershirts start at the very first one. Even, okay? The next one, if there is a next one, even. And then as we go to the next one, we just have to be intentional. So when we get long sleeves like this, right, as we put our tops on, you can just keep the seam evenly, you know, down the inside of your forearm because it's starting at the inside of your armpit. So keep it on the inside of your forearm. You know, I like to grab the seams and pull like that so that we just don't rotate and damage our clothing, right? Grab the seams in the center and just pull. And anyway, when you put you know, your next layer on, you just want to be intentional to keep your short sleeves, like I'm saying, laying nice and flat and even against your arms. So, you know, just do that. This is the whole thing, you know, don't let me tell you what to do, but I will tell you what is affecting you, even if you don't care to care about it. This is the truth, okay? So what I'm doing is just kind of keeping my short sleeve here nice and laying flat against my arm. And there's 2 layers there, you know, so the very undershirt and then the second shirt, which is also an undershirt now to this 3rd layer, keeping them nice and flat and even, and keeping the length of the sleeves even, okay, so that we're not having our undershirts sitting off to one side and then the shirt on top sitting off to the other side, and now our bodies are like not just working properly, okay? Keeping the side seams evenly at the sides, if they're side seams. Like I say, ideally, we don't have side seams in the tops that are right against our bodies. This shirt, this tannish looking, it's tan looking shirt underneath, okay, my very most undershirt layer here, it does have side seams and they were rotated. I've done In the Image Clothing Company's rotated seam modification to it, and there's a lot of reasons as to why I have that very specific shirt and why I'm wearing it today. But just, you know, with our rib cage expanding and contracting in 360 degrees, just meaning all the way around, every breath we ever take, and breath is the essence of human life, We just need to have that be able to happen. You know, those side seams kind of limit the expansion of the rib cage in a lot of ways. They do a lot more than that too, and we discuss it. But there's just some context, okay, for this video. So, collars, you know, you want all your collars to be sitting evenly, stacked evenly around the circumference of your neck. You don't want one collar off to one side, the next collar off to the other side, and be like pinching and pulling on your neck's musculature. There's just only one way the human body could ever work, okay? This is what I mean. This is In The Image Clothing Company, okay? So then what you want to just make sure that you can do is move, right? I mean, once you start layering things, you've just got multiple layers of things, multiple potential areas for things being stiff and things being stuck and things being uneven, you know? So you just want to make sure you can move. You want everything to just kind of fall evenly into place and just stack evenly each layer you put, because if you have an undershirt, you have a shirt over it. So we've got layers in this case, right? And the material's gripping on the material. Where it does, material is just grippy, you know? Especially 100% natural materials. A lot of these, you know, man-made materials, well, they are just oil, okay? Polyester, it's plastic. And so it can be very slippery. It's just a lot of little fine strands of plastic that they weave together and call clothing. Again, anything that clothes the human body, even glasses, jewelry, you know, we discuss as clothing the human being, because that is what it is doing, is clothing the human body, okay? But yeah, when it comes to natural materials, they're very grippy, okay? And that's great. This sweater is not 100% cotton, but these two shirts underneath are. The sweater's got cotton in it, and you know, times and places, we just can't be perfect in this life. And especially in a modern man-made world, a lot of the times it's kind of like, it's almost, you know, hard to come by just natural clothing, because it's so cheap to you know, make things out of plastic, but it's cheaply made as well so often nowadays, and it's damaging the body in more ways than one. You know, it's like a topical cream. We talk about these unnatural materials, they seep into the pores of the skin and damage our bodies from the inside out, as well as just, you know, the stretch that comes and the scratchiness of the unnatural material. And yeah, a lot of things are just so cheaply sewn. That's where the rotated seams come in a lot of the time, just imbalanced and discrepant seams. You know, so often we've got just terrible clothing, things that people just pass off as clothing in modern day, but we just don't know what we don't know. We can't be held accountable for it as if people are just like intentionally doing bad things. Sometimes people are, certainly, yeah. There's evil people out there, for sure. But a lot of times it's just, you know, out of lack of knowledge or understanding, and that's where In The Image Clothing Company comes in. Because these things do apply to everybody, right? As I say, everybody. Everybody has one, or everyone has a body. It just is what it is, you know, and I'm in this for life. So keep your clothing proper, but you won't know how to, probably, like I didn't, unless you do. But I found it in The Image Clothing Company, and we really give a lot of free information, okay? As one of the things we do, we'll always have good products. As another one of the things we do many, many things on each of the 4 sides, okay, of In The Image Clothing Company. We do a lot. I'm in this for life. We live up Utah. It's beautiful. Stick around for the poodles, purebred standard poodles. They're so sweet, so amazing, so awesome. I'll grab the camera and I'll film, you know, where I am here, but yeah, okay. Make sure the sleeves are not like caught up in the armpit area of the next layer. Okay, so we've just got things laying nice and evenly each time we layer, nice and evenly in all the ways we can. And there you go. The importance of even undershirts. Under the main side of In The Image Clothing Company here on the 11th of December, 2025. My name is Evan Strong. I'm in this for life as the founder, just meaning the leader of this as well, though, you know, for my entire lifetime. Let's look at this. Okay, so this is what you were seeing. Yes. As we turn, though, there's more to what's happening over here. I mean, it's beautiful. This is Utah County. This is specifically, well, actually Salem, Utah is where this is right here. Okay. There's the sun. I don't know how we can really just with this camera, it doesn't have the best. It's just not the best camera. That's what I mean. You can't quite tell really what's happening over here with these mountains because the sun's pretty bright, but I just don't really know how to get. There you go. There you go. See, it's pretty. Very pretty out here. Wetlands. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's my tripod. Oh, there you go. I was just seeing, you know, what I was really showing in the camera here, but this is my tripod. This is what I mean. This is the whole thing about it. Blunt, bold, raw, real. In the Image Clothing Company. It's just, you know, we're just what it is because it's about the truth of it. And as long as the information gets across, the information gets across. And also, this is just me being authentic, you know, and I love it. I've been given such a gift with this. I'm gonna be doing this for life, you know. And everybody is affected by this. And in a good way when it comes to what we do as in the Image Clothing Company. But yeah, I mean, it's universal, man. It's universal. So I'm gonna do what I do for the rest of the day. Yeah, the sun's just going down. I think I'm gonna stay right here until the sun drops behind the horizon, just because, well, I mean, look at the timing. That's what I mean. Like I said, you know, these videos are hard for me to film a lot of the time. A lot of the time it's about the timing. Maybe it's just not quite time to film one, you know, whether it's that specific day. I have to wait through the day a little bit before it's actually time, because maybe I'll run into somebody that I wouldn't otherwise, or I'll find a location that I wouldn't otherwise film it in, or because of a certain lighting, you know, or certain opportunities or whatever's going to happen through the rest of the day. And I just need to maybe be able to go straight there afterward or something. I mean, a lot of this really is just praying through life. I mean, a lot of it has nothing to do with any kind of specific things in our lives, but just praying to God through everything that we can. Look at that, the sun's down all the way. All the way, right now. Completely down, just like that. It's pretty though. But a lot of what I'm saying with this is, I just knew I had to get over here, but it was like this, oh, maybe don't go quite yet. Oh, shoot, okay. But do I have to go? And I know I need to make the video, but I'm not trying to be like forceful to try to make something happen, but I'm also not trying to delay and like not do something just because I feel like maybe it's not perfect and I want it to be or whatever, you know, and whatever end it's on, just praying to God through everything. And then we get out here and look at the timing. Right when I get done discussing what I did in this video, the sun just barely went all the way down. You can see, because you can see the shadowing across the mountains here of where the sun is from the mountains over here. And this is Utah. This is what I mean. This is I love it. I love it so much. We live up Utah, as in the Image Clothing Company. Here's that bench I was saying is here. You just don't want weight on your hamstrings. The muscles of the rear of the upper leg, you need to be sitting on your sit bones, the ischiums, or the bottom of the pelvis, not on the muscle of the rear of the upper leg. It deactivates the muscle, and then the feet arches can't grip, and then the whole body, you know, is altered. The core deactivates, the pelvis goes anterior, the shoulders go external, the whole body gets damaged, up to the jaw, up to the tip of the head, out to the fingers, out to the toes. When we sit in modern chair heights and we put weight on our musculature of the rear of the upper legs, I said something about it in the video. We just discuss this all the time as well. You see me filming episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. Oh my gosh, that's a pheasant, and I did not know it was there. It came out of right where this tumbleweed is right here. I mean, just like a few feet from me. If you do, you see me filming episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, and I'm gonna stand on this bench. And I'm sitting on the ground while I do it. This thing's like a trampoline. Holy cow. It's metal, and in the middle of it's like bending. I can do a flip off this. I used to do a lot of flips like that, you know. I would have, yeah, done it here. Probably not so much anymore, but years ago I did that often. Anyway, that was, as far as I know, that's what it looked like, as a pheasant. It's a bird, kind of like a chicken, but it's wild. Yeah, this is pheasant environment for sure. It was just hiding right behind the tumbleweed. Anyway, Was I saying something I didn't quite finish saying before I got a little bit startled by the pheasant? Holy cow. Anyway. Oh yeah. In the Image Clothing Company podcast, I sit on the ground, you know? Well, I just sit on the ground in life. Almost always. Times and places, and sometimes, you know, you almost have to sit in a chair, you know, just depending on where you are and what you're doing. But it's not some kind of like approach. That's what I mean. There's only one way the body could ever work, and the muscles only contract. They only pull. They only work. The only other end is relaxing. Okay. And if you're just cutting into a muscle with a chair edge, it just doesn't work. And the human body only works activated as a whole. But anyway, when I say we do in-person events, it's stuff like this. Like, don't expect it to be some kind of big production thing. Just come hang out. We'll just see God's earth, because it's here. Sometimes people almost forget that it is, which is crazy. I'm almost crying. Anyway. So yeah, here it says, no dogs allowed beyond this point. It's as real as it gets, bro. I'm just out here doing what I'm out here doing. Any opinions anyone could have on what In The Image Clothing Company is are wrong. There's only truth, you know. And I'm not like upset about it, but what I am kind of hurt by is, you know, people who don't realize what I'm really doing when what I'm doing applies to them, and it's completely life-changing. I'm literally crying. I mean, it is kind of cold out here too, but I think that was actually a tear out of emotion, not just out of the cold. Anyway, this is what we really do, man. It's just such a gift to be able to. Yeah, it's totally just straight tears, man. The importance of even undershirts and eternal documentation, you know. It just is what it is. This will never change, you know, just the information of just needing to be intentional. Yeah, see, wetlands. Utah is just so diverse. Mountains, red rocks, deserts, wetlands, lakes, rivers, canyons, open plains. There's so much here, and that's why we make such a point of living up Utah. I mean, look at the snow-capped mountains with the sunlight, you know, setting on them. All right. Anyway. Oh, wow, man. I mean, it's an emotional experience for me, just filming these videos sometimes like this. I just know where this is all heading. I know how big it'll be, to the degree that I know how big it'll be. I know why we're really here doing what we're doing. I just know how impactful it is. I know personally because how my life has changed. It's just such a gift. Being able to be in this role, in this position. It's crazy, dude. It's ridiculous. And it's so cool to just be me through it too, because I'm just giving information, you know. I'm just starting organizations. I mean, we're just a community, a company of people under In The Image Clothing Company. So, anyway. Okay. I just don't want to cut it premature, but I also don't need to film any more than I need to film. Just very, very, very beautiful here, man. Utah. I did not fully appreciate Utah for a lot of my life. And I've lived here for life, like I was saying. I mean, a lot of my life I really, really did live up Utah personally. But there was quite a bit of time where I just I didn't, take advantage in a good way of what's here. And I've just always loved nature so much, and it's here. I mean, it's right in your backyard, basically anywhere you are in Utah. Oh man, I mean, it just is what it is. I love it so much. All right. Involve yourself. If you ever come to events, don't come for us. Don't come for me, Evan Strong. Don't come for the team. Come for what we're doing. Come for the environment. When we do things for the environment, because, yeah, right. Clean the creek, rid the rubbish, specific types of subcategory poodle parade events, but also just, come for the dogs. Come for your dog and your own personal experience. If it is a poodle parade event, if you're coming to another event for just information, come for the information. And, just come for the right reasons. Focus on us as in the Image Clothing Company for the right reasons. Put your priorities in the correct locations. That kind of sounds harsh. I just want it to be real. Please, give us our boundaries and leave us alone. I say, involve yourself and come hang out with us, but not really for us, but for the experiences that we're going to be able to give people, that really aren't determined by us, but we're just people who can really organize things like this, and people who have a lot of information that is universal. That's really who In The Image Clothing Company is. And our team will always be awesome. The poodles are part of In The Image Clothing Company's team. Okay. So thank you.